Hey everyone, this is going to be a bit of a different video. In this video, I was going to teach two original card controls. Now the reason the I guess you could say I decided to change what we're going to learn in today's video was on the last video I uploaded, which I will leave a link for in the description. I received a comment, and in that comment were some questions about what to do if the trick went wrong, basically. What, and so I'm going to show you a quick performance of the effect. Then I'm going to read off the questions to you, and then we're going to dive even deeper to show you what I would do. I hope this all makes sense, but the first thing we're going to do is actually the performance. And the tutorial will be linked in the description along with another performance. So for this effect, I would go ahead and give the deck a little bit of a shuffle like this. And I would explain to the spectator that they're just going to do everything that I tell them to do. So I want them to lift up somewhere on the deck and turn this half face up and put it on top of the deck. They can then spread out the deck, and the first face down card is going to be theirs. Now, I'm not going to look at the card, but I will show it to you. So go ahead and remember this card. So once the spectator has remembered their card, we would take the second deck. And I forgot to mention that I have a prediction in this box, which we will get to at the end. So the spectator can actually shuffle the second deck, which doesn't matter. And I can show you all of the cards. Think you can see them here. All of the cards are different and they are mixed up as well. And you actually mix these quite well. What if the prediction in the box matched the card you selected? So let's take a look and let's take out the prediction first. So this is the prediction. So the card you cut to is the King of Diamonds. My prediction in the box is the King of Diamonds as well. So that is a bit of a performance, or that is the performance on this effect. Now, the questions I actually received on the video are these questions. So, the person typed, "This is a great use of the double backer. How would you perform this if the spectator had a free choice? Say what if they wanted to shuffle the first deck, and then as a follow up, what if your prediction was wrong? How would you go about fixing it? Just some magic contemplation for troubleshooting some things that may happen in the wilds." So, a very great question. And this is how I would actually go about the effect. So the first thing I would do is make sure you have two decks, and it actually is better, I think, if the decks match. Of course, they don't have to, but if you would like to see a video of some decks that actually match or go together, I will call it, I will leave a link in the description so you can check that video out. I'm also going to leave the deck review video of these two decks in the description. So the first thing you're going to want to do is get rid of your double backers. So once you did that, you have your two decks, you're all set. Now, you're going to start off this with both decks in the box, and for the question that talks about the prediction being wrong, I think I actually taught a similar thing to this in a past video. So I will leave that video in the description if you want more of an in-depth tutorial. So the first question is, how would you perform this if the spectator had a free choice? Let's say they wanted to shuffle the first deck. Well, now in this case, because there isn't any double backers, it doesn't matter which deck they choose. So let's say they go with black. So they're going to take the black deck and they're going to shuffle this as much as they want. And the only thing you're going to want to do, there's actually two things. So I'm going to leave a link for everything in the description I mentioned, but you're going to want to force a card and know what that card is. So, the force I'm going to do is the spread call force, which I will leave in the description. So, I turn these face up and I show the spectator these are all different. At the top of the deck, I'm going to count in my head and either remember the fourth or fifth card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So either the seven of hearts or the four of clubs. Just whichever card I can remember the easiest, I'm going to remember. And I'm going to force that one. So let's say we force the fifth card, the four of clubs. So once the deck is shuffled, I say okay. Now, as you can see, these are all different. Face down, I want you to touch any card. Just like that, I called out the four of clubs. So now they're gonna actually touch a card. I will leave a link for the call force. But let's say they touch this card. So whatever card they touch, you're going to push it into the spread underneath that called for a clubs, meaning when you tap the deck, you can either show them the card like this, or you can use your fingers to extend it out and say, okay, here's your selection, go ahead and remember it. So now you know the four of clubs, and they touch the four of clubs, which is theirs. And I think this is actually better than the classic force, because once you get that call down, it's guaranteed to work. So they remember the four, and you know it's the four of clubs, and you can have them sign the card, show it around, remember it, do whatever. And with the second deck, you're going to be doing this on the offbeat. So you're going to be taking out the deck, but you're going to leave one face down card behind. So you say, okay, go ahead, remember this card, shuffle the deck again, do whatever you would like. And this is going to buy you some misdirection. So you're gonna open up the box, and your fingers here are gonna slide down this very bottom card while your thumb slides forward, excuse me, the top of the deck. And once this card is all the way down, you should be able to feel it with your fingers. You can squeeze the box and take out the deck, meaning you left one card behind. You can close the box and set it down. And this is good because this sets up for the next one. Then, as a follow up, what if your prediction was wrong? How would you go about fixing it? So, this is going to be perfect here. So, the deck is out, and you can say, okay. Now, you have a card here that you touched and you shuffled a deck. Go ahead and shuffle this deck for me. And now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to show them all the cards, but you're going to be doing the call, and you're going to call their card to the very top of the deck. Now, something that may happen, it's very rare if it does happen, is what if their card ends up in the box? So I will show you that at the end, which is actually a great little effect by itself. So let's go over this part. So you're going to say, okay. So as you can see, all of the cards are different, and you mix these up quite well. And right here, I'm going to do the call, and I'm going to call their card to the top. So you say, okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I had a prediction in this box since the beginning. And what if this was your prediction? Or what if this was your card? Now, I can hear that I actually messed up the move because I left two cards behind when you only want one card behind. So I might go over the box move a little more at the end. But for now, let's just keep going. So you say, okay, what if this was your prediction? What if this was your card? So with your hand turned over, you're just going to push over the top card, put your pinky in, pull back, and catch a break. You could pinky count, it doesn't matter. Check out the previous video for a better tutorial. And this is actually a video I made a while back, which I will link in the description. It's a prediction effect using the card box. So you're going to take out this card and you're going to turn it face up on top of the deck. You're going to act like that's their card, the Jack of Diamonds. They're going to say no. Then you're going to say, oh, okay, how about this then? Let's put the Jack back in the box. So you turn the Jack face down, you have it squared up, you go to pick up the box, and you turn your wrist into yourself, and your thumb is going to be pinching down on this top left corner diagonally, and your fingers are going to come right into your pinky break, and you're going to do two things at once. Your thumb is going to go forward, and your fingers are going to go back. So it's going to look sort of like that. So it's going to look just like this. So you can see how my thumb goes forward. Excuse me, and my fingers go up or back. Okay, so sort of like that. And you're going to put this card, which they think is the Jack, into the box when it's the 4. And check out the video in the description for a more in-depth tutorial on this move. But now the Jack is on top, so I give it a few cuts. I say, okay, let's see what your card is. In this case, it's the 4 of clubs, meaning, okay, I want you to take out your 4 of clubs in the deck. I spread it face up. They look at these, they're not gonna see their card, and if you don't show the Jack or that one card for too long, they're actually not gonna remember that it's in the deck somewhere. But if they do, I don't think it's that big of a problem, because I've never been called out on it. Hey, how come the Jack is in the deck? If that does happen, you can say the Jack in your 4 is some sort of transportation style effect after you show them that there's one card in the box and it is their card. So that is what I would do. I hope I addressed these two questions right. How would you perform this if the spectator had a free choice? What if they wanted to shuffle the first deck? This is how you can end clean without a double backer. The next one is, then as a follow-up, what if your prediction was wrong? How would you go about fixing it? Well, I think I answered that one pretty well. So at the very end here, I will show you really quick what you can do with the double backer. Excuse me. But I want to go over that box move, actually. Because the last thing you want, okay, so the last thing you actually want is 2 cards left behind. Okay, so you know the deck is in the box, and they're doing whatever they want with this deck. It doesn't matter. You're going to open up the box, and you're going to start to take the deck out, but your fingers, okay, get this flap out of the way, is going to push down the very bottom card, okay? And you're just going to want to push it down just a little until you can feel the other cards here, which you can actually pinch onto with your other fingers. Then in this case, my middle finger would continue pushing this card all the way down. I have these other cards pinched with my fingers. I squeeze the box, excuse me, and I take these out, meaning now there is one card left behind. Let me go over that a few more times here. So you're like this, you start to take out the deck, and keep in mind everything is like this. So you would start to slide this card down, and once your other fingers here can feel the other cards, you can pinch onto them as you take, in this case, my middle finger, because it's the longest. I slide it all the way down, I squeeze the ends of the box, and then I can slide out the deck, meaning I left that one card behind. I will go over that one more time. So you're like this, you take out the deck, you start to slide this bottom card down, and then you pinch the second card with your fingers. You take whatever finger, in this case the middle finger, you're going to slide that down, you squeeze the ends of the box, and then you can actually slide the deck out. Meaning now this deck is good for use, but you left one card behind, which is your prediction. Now, let's just say, for example, I don't think this would happen, but let's just say you have the four of clubs there. Somehow, the four of clubs ends up. Now, you're not going to know this, okay, because you're just going to be doing the moves. So it's going to look like you're just taking the deck out. So you're like this, you slide the four down, you squeeze, and you take the deck out. You say, okay. Now, as you can see here, all of the cards are different, and if you have a full deck here, then you will know whether or not the four is in the box, unless you put two cards in the box, to make sure you practice that move very well. So you can say, okay. So as you can see, all of the cards are shuffled, and you mix these very well. If you don't see the four of clubs in this deck while talking, in your mind, you know the four is in the box. So you can say, okay, I had a prediction in here since the very beginning. Let's see what card you had. In this case, the four of clubs. Would my prediction matched your card? They open up the box, they take out one card, and it is the four of clubs. So that isn't going to happen a lot, but that's what you can do. Excuse me, if you don't see the four of clubs in the deck. And last but not least, very quick, I'm going to go over what if you want to use a double backer. So, you know you have both double backers on top of the deck, and for the card force, you would have one card turned face up like this. Well, that isn't going to work. So, in order for this to work, you can start off by turning the deck face up and say, okay, now you shuffle these. Now you want to shuffle this deck, so how about we start off with each of us shuffling a half? You take the bottom half, or you take the top half, I take the bottom half. You're going to do two things here. So the first thing you're going to do here is you're going to catch a break above the bottom card, okay? And you're just going to want to cop it out. So I use my pinky, I pull down on this bottom card. I'm not going to go too much in depth with this because the video's already pretty long. But you're just going to want to cop out this card. You're going to put it into your pocket, and then you're going to pull down on this next card. You're going to do a half pass to turn it actually face down. Once they shuffle both halves, you would actually have the double backer in your hand in a palm. So then when you take the deck back, you can put the card on top, and then I give the deck a couple of riffles behind that palm card, and now the double backer is on top. You can do anything you would like. I apologize for going over that last bit a little quick, but this video is actually a bit long. So if you would like me to, I could probably put this in a separate video for the palm and the turnover pass. but I want to do that once I'm actually good at it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that answered the questions you had. And if you're new here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time with a new video. Bye. Oh yeah, and one more thing I wanted to mention. Any tutorials that I actually mention in this video will be linked in my last video, which will be linked in the description. I will try my best to remember to link everything I mention, but if there's anything I don't link, it should be in my last video linked in the description, but if it's not, let me know what video I didn't link, and I will do that for you. That's everything from me, and I will see you next time. Bye.